Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions, but not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called Uncommon Sense. I also have another YouTube channel called Latina Diaspora where I discuss issues pertaining to Latinos in the United States. The link to that channel is in the description. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Also, the subscriber mode has been enabled for the first 5 minutes. Meaning, if you're not a subscriber and if you and you have not already reached that enter the chat, comment in the chat, you will need to subscribe to the channel. As always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who've already subscribed to the channel. Whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined us later today, I really appreciate your love and continued support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, as well as those who allow me to enter into your devices and those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So, what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So, therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Now, tonight we're having another episode of Open Discussion. And in Open Discussion, what I will do is I will share my views regarding several topics. And of course, you, the audience, will have an opportunity to opine in the chat. Also, you'll have an opportunity to suggest anything that you would like for me to talk about. I will do my best to comply. If it's something where I don't have a great deal of knowledge, I'll be transparent and admit so. There might be some topics which I don't feel comfortable discussing, which I won't share. Before I continue, let me just state for the record that the link to join the panel has been pinned. Should anyone wishes to hit that link and opine regarding anything that we discuss, they may do so. However, if I never see you before, if I never heard from you before, I will insist that you come up in the backstage to make sure no one try to flash anything inappropriate, which will cause the people of YouTube to take down the stream. Now, the first thing I'm going to mention is, of course, next week's schedule. Oh, and the reason why I'm doing open discussion tonight instead of Friday night, what I usually do, is because I'm going out tomorrow night. I'm going to a party. I mean, I can just as easily do my Friday, my normal life when I come home, except I expect to be home late. And realistically speaking, for me to do a live, say 11:30 or midnight, that's a bit late. Okay. Um, so that's the reason why I'm doing it tonight. Now, next week's schedule is going to be a little different due to the fact that next week is Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So, I will do a live on Sunday, which I will do my annual first day of winter celebration. Okay. Yes, I actually going to be celebrating the arrival of the first day of winter. So I'm going to be talking about why I like winter so much. And I know for some people it's going to be disappointing because they don't like the cold. But to each one's own. Um, I don't know if I'm going to do a live on my other channel. If it is live, it'll probably be Monday night. Um, but in any case, the next live I'm going to do next week will be Tuesday night, which is basically going to be a recap of another year of uncommon sense. So I'm going to talk about what have been some of my achievements, what some of my failures, and what some of the things that I've learned. And of course, Friday, oh, before that, on Christmas Eve, I will have my a short Christmas Eve message. Now, I don't know whether it's going to be recorded or it's going to be live. I'll probably make a decision on that on Tuesday. And of course, on Friday, I'll do my regular um, open discussion topic. Excuse me. So, so the first thing I'm going to be talking about, of course, I was on vacation this week, and I was able to get some things done. I was able to get some some of my personal affairs and order things of that nature. I had a routine appointment with my feet, and one thing about me is that I do try to stay on top of my health, and which means making sure that I keep all my medical appointments, whether it be because of my feet, whether it be because of my eyes, whether it be because of my body, or what have you. Okay, because it's easier when you stay on top of your health, and therefore, if any problems do develop, usually when you're on top of your health, it could be resolved without getting into serious health issues. And of course, the fact of the matter is, I was able to relax. Okay, for a few days, I didn't have to work. I didn't have to worry about commuting. Okay, because commuting can be stressful. Okay, particularly when you are depending on public transportation to get from point A to point B. Okay. Now, the next thing I'll talk about is, of course, I hear shout out to my supporters. I mean, I cannot believe um, the amount of growth that this channel has achieved this year. Okay, I am truly humbled by it. Okay, I mean, I didn't think I would reach 1K subs this year, but I did, and actually achieved it Wednesday, December the 3rd. Today is Thursday, December the 18th, and I'm closing in on 1,200 subs. Okay. And of course, all the glory and all the honor goes to God because He allows me to go through everything, the good, the bad, and sometimes the stressful. And everything has a purpose, and there's a purpose for everything underneath the sun. Of course, one thing I'm trying to do is increase the watch hours. So eventually, I'll get to the point when I'll start to make a lot of money. Now, in all fairness, I didn't become a content creator um, for the purpose of making money. Okay, but if I am able to do so, why not? It's to me, this has been a labor of love. Okay, that's how I treat it, and of course, it does reflect who I am as an individual. So it's just something I always have to bear in mind. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, we're soon going to be approaching a new year, okay, 2026. And there's going to be a lot of interesting situations which will occur. There'll be a lot of ups, there'll be a lot of downs. There'll be successes, there'll be failures, okay. One thing that I find it's very important is that when you're going through times of success, yes, it's a time for rejoicing, but it also is not a time to become, you know, cocky or bragging, okay? Because so since there are ups, there's also downs. As long as there are victories, there's also defeats. Okay. And one thing we have to bear in mind is that we can learn from our failures as far as our victories. And let me explain what I mean by that. If we, by learning of our failures, we can take an honest appraisal regarding some of the things that we did, and maybe what we'll do is we'll um, take certain different actions, different actions, or maybe we will think more carefully regarding what it is that we want to achieve. Okay. Now, some people have an issue admitting that they're wrong. Okay. Why? I don't know. Some people have a need to be always right, even when they're wrong. In fact, there's a saying in Spanish which says, "Es siempre tiene la razón," which is a loose translation, they're always right. Even when they're wrong, they're right. Okay. Now, a mature person can admit where they make a mistake. A mature person can take accountability for their actions. Good evening, Irby. Thank you very much for stopping by. And of course, let me just remind you that my friend Irby has his YouTube channel. So I'm going to ask that you show some love for him. Check out his content. He does go live. It's just that many of the times when he goes live, I'm usually asleep. So a lot of the times I'm catching his content on the playback. But, he is a, you're welcome. You're welcome, Irving. So he is, you know, a relatively new YouTube creator. And of course, as a new YouTube creator, sometimes it can take a while to gain recognition. Sometimes it can take a while to get the algorithm going, what have you. But I'm sure he would appreciate it if you subscribe to his channel. Now, now I'm happy with the fact that my friend Dread Kesha and Lowry's Diaries, sorry, has gained her 1K subs. Okay. Now, in all fairness, of course, her channel is based on people who like to create locks with their hair. Unfortunately, I don't have enough hair to make any locks. So, but you know what? There are people that create, that have, they're into locks, they're into dreadlocks, and it's good to know that there is someone out there that's teaching them how to wash their hair in dreadlocks, how to create dreadlocks, and what's the proper care when it comes to their hair. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the fact for those of you who follow football, this is going to be a unique season because the Kansas City Chiefs have been eliminated from the playoffs. And of course, they had a very disappointing season. I believe their record is now 6-8, and I think they're either third or fourth place in their division. And not only that, Patrick Mahomes has been injured and looks like he's going to be out for, not only for the rest of the season, but at least the early part of the season. Okay. And I and okay, but I mean you have to give the Kansas City Chiefs credit in the sense that for 9 years they won the division. Okay, they they won also this year they came very close in being a third time no third, winning third consecutive world titles. I'm sorry, unfortunately they got beaten by the Philadelphia Phillies. I'm sorry, the Philadelphia Eagles. Sorry. So, and of course, for all the Kansas City Chiefs fans, this is a disappointment. Okay. Well, hopefully next year Kansas City can come back and play the type of football that this fan had always looked forward to play with. Okay. Excuse me. Now, of course, some of you know that. Know that I love winter. Why do I love winter? I don't know. I guess the only explanation I can think of is on the day I was born. It must have been a cold day with the window open. But I love winter. Winter makes me happy. And believe it or not, when I actually go outside in the winter time, it does put a little pep in my step. Okay. And of course, this Sunday, I will be doing a live celebrating the first day of winter. So, of course, I'll be talking about some of the fun things that you can do during the winter time. Now, I can understand why there are people who do not like winter. First of all, um, the days are shorter. Okay. Also, it kind of looks a little bit dead because obviously there's no leaves in the trees, and also the people that don't like the cold. Okay, and it could be depressing for some people. Okay, everyone has a everyone has a particular preference when it comes to the four seasons. You have certain individuals that love summertime because, of course, you get to go to the beach, you get to go to the pool, you can sweat, you can dress, in shorts and things of that nature. And then there's people who love the spring and the fall, and then there's people like me who love the winter. But that's what makes it, you know, very very special. We all have our preferences when it comes to seasons and things of that nature. And of course, with each season, it has its holidays. Okay. With spring, of course, you have Easter. You also have Memorial Day. In the summer months, you have um, oh I almost forgot. Also in spring, you have Mother's Day, and you also have Memorial Day. And of course, in the summertime, your holidays like the 4th of July, Father's Day, uh, Juneteenth Day, which is a new holiday that we have. And for those of you who do not know what is Juneteenth stands for, that's basically the day when slavery ended in the last part of the Confederacy. And of course, in the fall, you have Columbus Day. Um, you have Halloween, which I don't celebrate, but I know people do. And you also have Veterans Day and Thanksgiving. And of course, Christmas time, you have December, winter, you have Christmas, you have Hanukkah, you have Kwanzaa, you have Martin Luther King Day, you also have Valentine's Day, President's Day, and believe it or not, um, St. Patrick's Day, which is technically it's held during wintertime, even though it's in the springtime. Okay. So of course, each season has its holidays. Each season has certain things that that people like, and of course, which which each season has its own activities. Now, as far as resolutions for the new year, I don't really do that. What I prefer to look at it as goals that I want to achieve. Okay, and basically, I have two goals. One goal has to do with my health. Okay, I want to lose at least another 20 to 30 pounds. Okay, because first of all, it's for my health. Number one. Number two, the lighter I am, the less of a burden it will be to my knees. Particularly the fact that I've gone through knee replacement surgery on both knees. So that's one goal. The other goal I have is to increase the watch hours. Okay, and I would like to get if I can get closer to say 3,000 watch hours or 4,000 watch hours um, within a year, that would be great because that means that I'll get monetized. Okay, which means I get to make money. And of course, another benefit is memberships. Okay, so hopefully, once I get to the point when I'll be able to create memberships, um, some of you would consider becoming a member. Of course, you will get certain perks and things of that nature. But that's something that I have a way to actually increase my watch time. Okay, let's just check. Let's see. You have to forgive me. It's just that every now and then I do have to take a look um, as far as who's watching. Okay. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you ever had a situation where they schedule an appointment and basically they waste your time today? They waste your time, and then you make the effort to get to your appointment on time, and then you have to wait because the people that you're supposed to see are not there. Well, that happened to me today. Okay. I had an appointment to go somewhere. Okay. And it took me, yes, and it took me 90 minutes to get to my appointment. Okay. And of course, of course, I got there um, a little bit early because you have to give yourself plenty um, of time for transportation because you never know what's going to happen. There could be delays. Um, the train could be delayed, the bus could be delayed, it could be traffic that you never know. So I like to give myself plenty of time to get to my destination in time. So I had an appointment today. I got to the appointment only to find out that it was an error. That they're the ones that made the appointment. Okay. Now it would have been nice if they had told me about it ahead of time. Okay. And of course, I was upset, rightfully upset. Look, for me to take 90 minutes to get from point A to point E, okay, early in the morning, that's not good. That is not good at all. So obviously, I was not happy about it. But you have to understand that not everyone is going to do things in a confident way, which should give you motivation to try to do your best as being whatever whatever task that you have. Make sure you do it in a competent in a competent professional manner. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, um, when I think about this year, okay, there was a lot of highs, there was a lot of lows, but I consider myself very blessed. Okay, first of all, because of the fact of the matter is, uh, not everyone has were able to, reach the end of the year alive. Okay, one thing we have to understand that every day there are people that that do depart and go to their final destination, um, depending on how live their lives, and the fact that I'm still around. Today is December the 18th. I'm truly blessed. And of course, I have had my highs and I have my lows. I have my victories and I have my defeats. But one thing that I consider myself very fortunate is the fact that I do have people who love me and accept me for what I am. Okay. I am blessed to have a job. job. I am blessed to have a home. I am blessed to have friends. I am blessed to have family. Now, everyone has all these things. Also, I'm blessed because of the people that I've met in my journey as as a content creator. Uh, I'm not gonna go into the names because, first of all, I don't want to overlook anybody. And I think those of you who know me, those of you who follow me, you know who are my supporters. You know the people who have come here during the year to opine regarding the topics that I've held. Okay, and I also appreciate the times when people have given me correction. I also appreciate the fact the suggestion that people gave me. Okay, and one thing that I have been fortunate is to be able to accept constructive criticism. Okay? Not everyone can do that, and one thing is that this has never been an echo chamber. It has never been. It will never will be. Okay. Um, Here on this channel, on this platform, people are allowed to express their point of views as they see fit. And generally, I don't sense. I mean, I don't censor people. Now, if you say something truly outrageous, yeah, your comments will be deleted. Okay, some comments some do deserve a response. Others they don't. So, no, excuse me. And for your information, I'm drinking lemonade. It's cool. It's refreshing. Okay. Now the next thing I want to talk about is, of course, is the season of Christmas. And while we're in the middle of this season, you know, it has different meanings for different people. For many people, the holiday season is a happy time. First of all, you're with family, you're with loved ones, you're with friends. It's also a time um, to celebrate as far as and partake in good food, music, dancing, and of course Christmas carols. And then for some people, um, it's a time for self-reflection, as far as taking a look at their lives, take a look at where they succeed, where they failed, also where they can do better. For some people, it's a time to reflect how is their relationship with God. But we also have to bear in mind that for some people, this is not a happy time. Okay. Particularly if you're going through the first Christmas holiday without your loved ones, that could be bittersweet. Or it could be that you're dealing with issues with your health, whether it be physical issues or mental issues or emotional issues. Okay. Also, there are some people that are very lonely during the holiday season. Okay. Particularly the elderly, because as they age, more and more people that they associated with either have passed away or they moved on. And of course, um, there are people that fall into a state of depression and then they think about self deletion. Okay, so I've said this before, and I'm going to keep saying it. If you notice anyone that seems to be depressed, seems to be down, um, give them a call. Check and see how they're doing. Okay, and if they're alone, visit them or invite them to your home. Okay, they will I mean, and most of them will appreciate the gesture. Okay, and it is a warm feeling that you get when you're able to make someone's day. And with some people, you don't have to do a lot. It's just a matter of listening. It's a matter of just letting you know that you care. It's a matter regarding that they know that no matter what's going on with their lives, that they're not alone. Okay, let's see. There's a couple more things I'm going to talk about, and then I'm just going to call it. I'm going to call it an evening. Okay. And of course, there's a lot of talk regarding whether or not uh, there are going to be stimulus checks. And of course, President Trump is talking about it again, issuing $2,000 stimulus checks to people making under $100,000 a year. And his what his suggestion is to use the money that we gather from the tariffs in order to issue the stimulus checks. First of all, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. I'll believe it when there's an actual bill that's actually signed into law. Okay. Now, realistically speaking, in order for this government to issue stimulus checks, it's going to take at least 3 to 400 billion dollars um, that the government will have federal government to spend in order to issue stimulus checks. Now, depending who you speak to, so far they have collected 200 billion in revenue from the tariffs. So basically, what they're gonna have to borrow money in order to in order to send stimulus checks or rebate checks or things of that nature. And supposedly, it would be done next year. Now, of course, next year is midterm elections. Okay, where we're going to vote for represented in the House and in many states who's going to be governor and who's going to be senator. Okay. So I guess this is Donald Trump's way to try to bribe the electorate to vote for Republicans because of a $2,000 stimulus check. Okay. Now, if Trump really wanted to do something to help the American people, there are other things they can do. First of all, curb the expenses when it comes to pharmaceutical drugs. Okay, that's something that would be very helpful. Another thing would be helpful, get rid of these tariffs a bit. Okay, this whole notion that um, tariffs affect other countries, no, it affects us because I mean what it does is it makes things more expensive. If Trump really wanted to help the American citizen, do something about the cost of food because it's getting more and more expensive. If he really wants to do something more constructive when it comes to affordable housing, so actually there are things, concrete things that this current administration could do. Now, whether they'll do it, I I doubt it. Okay, because what it does require someone to admit when they're wrong, when they made a mistake. Um, with all due respect, Donald Trump does not come across as a person that's able to admit, I made a mistake. Okay. Because he has a huge ego and he's very thin skinned. Okay. And he tends to overreact when people say nasty things about him. But the fact of the matter is, when you're president of the United States, you have to be able to develop a thick skin and deal with the electorate. Okay. Now, hopefully, when it comes to the next presidential election, which will be in 2028, hopefully the people, the voters, will do some time and they'll actually do research regarding who they wish they would support before they actually vote for that person. Now, I still can't get over the fact that immediately after last year's election, there was many people going into Google, and one of the most popular phrase searches was, "Can they alter their vote?" And the answer is no. Once you once you cast your ballot, that's it. There's no second chances. There's no do-over. No, you have to um, deal with the choices that you make. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of find it comical in a way that that those that supported Trump are upset with him. But one thing people need to bear in mind, he was Donald Trump said was a lot of the stuff he was going to doing. He said was going to do this. Okay. Now what he has not, now what he failed to do is, of course, create jobs. What he failed to do is to make the cost of food less expensive. In fact, if anything, it's gotten more expensive. Not only food, but also many things as far as electronics, uh, automobiles, and things like that because of tariffs, which is basically a tax a tax that we all have to pay. And of course, when you increase tariffs, of course, what happened is that those companies that produce items and things of that nature, they're going to pass the cost to the consumer, which is you and me. And I find it amazing. It's mind-boggling how people cannot see the fact that Trump's skills has declined significantly. Last year, we were all talking about Biden's cognitive decline, and yes, he did experience that. Okay, and in all fairness, Joe Biden should never have run for re-election. Now, of course, many people wanted to have an open Democratic primary. Um, had Biden decided not to run again, there would have been a open selection process, and then people will take a look at the candidates, and they would have supported some. Most likely, no offense, it would not have been Kamala Harris. It might have been someone else. And of course, there's talk about that she might run again. Uh, I'll just have to wait and see. 2028 is less less than 3 years away. Okay. And for the benefit of those of you who are just joining in, tonight we're having another episode of Open Discussion where I share my views regarding several topics. And of course, you, the audience, that is the people in the chat, will have an opportunity to opine regarding topics that they wish for me to discuss. Okay, so I'm going to talk about one more thing, and then I'm gonna call it a night. One thing I One thing I started to do this year, and I'm going to continue to do this. There's certain platforms that I either going to continue to limit my appearance or not appear at all. Okay, there's going to be topics that I'm not even going to comment on. Okay, no shade regarding any content creator. You guys know you're all free to publish the fluff whatever you wish. But at the same time, it does not mean I have to consume all your content. And with all due respect, to be going back and forth regarding who has the prettiest hair, who has the prettiest skin, arguing regarding pretty privilege, arguing regarding people who wear weaves and things of that nature. Um, I don't have the time, I don't have the energy to engage in such topics. Okay. I'm at the stage of my life where I prefer to devote myself talking about things that actually do matter. things like issues regarding mental health, issues regarding where you're gonna go, where how you're gonna retire, how you're gonna deal with difficult people. These are the things that I prefer to talk about. But arguing because who wants to be um, the chief exponent regarding pretty privilege and why pretty privilege is more important. No. Okay. If you want to look, if you want to spend your time and your energy talking about pretty privilege and why it's so important, go ahead. You can do it to your heart's content. I am not going to discuss it here. Okay. I'm just not because A, I got more important things to think about. B, I have more important things to worry about. Okay. So with that being said, I'm not gonna lie. I do miss many of the people that used to visit this platform. Okay, and the fact of the matter is, people have lives. People have responsibilities. So there's gonna be times when people, when it's going to highlight the absence of certain people. I'm going to continue. I'm going to continue to create content. I'm going to continue um, to do my lives, um, and then of course you have the opportunity to either catch it live or catch it on the playback. So with that being said, I think I am going to wrap this up. Okay. Um, Maybe I need to think about changing the time that I go live. That's something I'm gonna be thinking about. And of course, um, if you have not done so, I'm gonna ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Yeah, there are a lot of missing people. I do hope that I do hope that they're doing well. Okay. Um, and definitely I'm gonna put that in my prayers. Uh, to be perfectly honest, I really don't know what's happening with Hazel. Um, I hope she's well. Okay. I know that she's been away for a long time. Okay. And I see we have a guest. So let me just state for the record that the views of those who appear on the record are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views people hold may consider offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And now we're going to bring in our guest. Good evening, Gigi.
Hey Jose, how you doing?
Fine. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. What are you talking about?
Just having another episode of open discussion. So I'm just basically just showing the fact whoever's listening.
You said what now? What was the end of it?
So basically, I'm just showing the fact whoever's listening in the chat. That's all.
Oh, okay. Well, I came by to say
So how
hi.
you been?
Uh, I've been doing well, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Hmm.
Yeah,
My channel's on a little bit
I
of a
did
suppression
enjoy your
right
last.
now.
Yeah, I did enjoy your little your video with dreaming regarding the exoticals and whatnot.
You like the exotical content, don't you?
Yeah, I find it, I find it hilarious that people going back and forth regarding who's wearing a weave and who's not wearing a weave, and why all this energy regarding who's the prettiest one around. It's like, really?
Yeah, it's guilty pleasure content, right? Just a little mess.
Yes. Good evening, Rizzo. Thank you very much for stopping by. Well, you know how I feel about EU.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know how I feel about it. Okay, I mean, look, for anyone to devote all that time and energy talking about pretty privilege and trashing other females regarding their weave, regarding how they look, when no one really knows how she looks like. I mean, I'm sorry.
Doesn't know who. We don't know how I can't even talk. We don't know
No,
who how who look.
we don't. I mean, look. I mean, because
We know
no,
exactly how Exotical United
EU
looks. We know
exotic.
exactly how she looks. She's been doxxed.
Okay,
Ugh.
well,
All those pictures that you see on
if she
everybody's
wants to
videos,
look,
that's
if she
her.
wants, well, you know what? If she wants to go through life talking about how pretty privilege is so important, and she wants to be the reigning queen of the pretty dumb club, by all means, go ahead.
Yeah, she already is. That's her thing. But we're still gonna clown her ass, especially when, she talks shit about me. I mean, I wasn't even thinking about her, but then she came out talking reckless ass shit about me. So yeah, I'm back on her head.
Why you think she's focusing on you?
I don't think she's clearly focused on me. I just think she throws jabs here or there. I think that she probably will hate me to the death because, we're the ones that came out and first initially showed her picture. So from there, that's when everybody went and I guess they doxed her, really. You know what I mean? And so yeah, she's always gonna hate for that. And plus, to be honest, I mean, even when we had made up and talked a little bit, she had told me she never liked me from the beginning. So a lot of the different characters that she talks about on her channel, like these certain types of women that are like this or like that, oftentimes that's really she's projecting. That's the type of female that she is. And so she says that, in the beginning when we all first met, that, she was a pick me and she was in her pick me era and all that other shit. So she used to just basically come over to try to like hang out with all the guys on our channel, but she never really liked us. She wasn't really friendly to the other she wasn't friendly not only to the other female content creators, but like the biracial women specifically. Um, all of us, there was some sort of an issue with. And then she went off of Bossy. Were you around? You weren't around at that time, were you, Jose, when Bossy was out here?
I don't think so. I think that was before my time.
Oh, you missed some good content during that time. It was wild. RZA knows. I think RZA was
Well,
here around that time. Irby knows.
yeah. Also, wasn't another person? I think Ona was around before my time.
Yeah, Ona. Ona was also content gold. I hope Ona's doing okay.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so too. I mean, look, just because certain people for whatever reason, you know, rub you the wrong way, you know, just be, just, just, I hope everyone's doing well. Okay. Now, some, some people I would prefer avoiding, but it doesn't mean,
Yeah, I'm the same. I have people that I don't like or whatever, but I'm not like sitting around like in the corner, rocking back and forth, wishing bad and thinking bad or whatever. This is just content to me. You know what I mean?
yeah.
In those situations, it's
Look,
just content.
I am too busy. Yeah, yeah. I am too busy just trying to be the best version of myself. I don't wish to engage in the whole concept who is the prettiest and why pretty privilege is so important and people arguing because of weaves and whatnot and bleaching and whatnot and people that want to look youthful. I mean, ugh, I don't have the time and energy for all that.
So did you think our video was mean? Because we went there with the whole eating disorder and all that because it's like it has been normalized in this space now. Like, okay, well, everybody can just shit on fat bitches, right? You know what I'm saying? That's cool. That's socially acceptable and all that. But we can't talk about like people's eating disorders. Like, what's up with the double standard around here? Calling
But
we call people
let's keep it
belugas.
clear. I mean, look, what it is, people look. You can say whatever you want to talk about. Okay. The problem is people. A lot of people that thin skin.
Yeah. Well, everybody's thin skinned
Okay.
until you get beat down into the ground and buried and then brought back alive from the dead again, and then you'll be all right. But everybody's gonna get fucked up on YouTube. Eventually, when you start popping, when you start like
Yeah.
making some kind of moves, you're gonna get drugged, you're gonna get doxxed, you're gonna get harassed on this side of YouTube anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say on a lot of sides of
And
YouTube.
some people, yeah. And some people are just going to get dragged simply. I mean, simply because of the people that they choose to associate with.
Yeah, I don't really hang out with nobody too much like that no more on YouTube. I come over and say what's up to you sometimes or whatever and hit your live, but I'm done with all that live streaming and shit and hanging out with people. I might live stream on my channel. I might, like, if I ever, like whenever I feel like inspired to do so. But yeah, I don't like go around hitting people's links and chit chatting and shit like that no more. Cause really, like, people just look for a moment and they're like, they may have heard about you or something and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna try this person and make a show and try to get a clip. And I don't got time for all that because I can't be crashing out here on YouTube no more.
Well, remember, there was once a
I
time
done
I
made
actually
my
crashed
shows,
out and actually
okay?
cursed out twice.
I done made a lot of shows.
I mean, I actually cursed out. I mean, I actually cursed out a Zacharias at your channel one time.
Exactly. So hey, it happens.
But you know what? Yeah.
So this is the thing, Jose. So I was doing those videos on the alt right and the white supremacists and all that. So they flagged the F out of me. So I didn't get a strike or anything like actually on my channel, but I'm definitely on a temporary throttle, they call it suppression. So it's like I'm not barely getting, so I'll drop a video, right? And it'll get still like a lot of views compared to like the impressions. Like, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not getting impressions. Like they're not recommending it like that. So like I just looked it up and stuff and they're like, I just need to like chill out for like 2 weeks and then it relaxes again once it sees that there's no like issue because they were mass reporting my videos. The the Karens and the Darrens were mass reporting me and also I'm sure the cult of Candace as well. So I gotta behave a little to get out of timeout. You know what I mean? But here I am. I'm uploading messy shorts right now, so who
Um,
knows?
well, I mean, I've heard briefly of Candace Owens. I never knew this chick before. It's just that it's like I think she's doing all that stuff just to get clicks and views and get that exotical tax or whatever, or that
They
radical
call it
tax or
the
whatever.
unambiguous tax. I heard some of the the BWE say the unambiguous tax. She's trying to get her unambiguous tax. Well, that too, but I also think that there is some sort of a mental health like part to it. Because in some ways, I be feeling like she kind of believes this shit. You know what I mean? Like the way she be acting, like a little bit like erratic and all over the place. And I don't really know what Candace's deal is, but I know that like her audience is like turning on her now because she went over there and talked to Erica Kirk. And her little short when she came back from talking with Erica, she was so giddy and excited. And that's the thing about YouTube is like these people that will come for your neck, they really just want attention from you, right? So she was just so happy to have gotten that meeting with Erica Kirk and gotten some attention from her because she kept on like trying to goad her and try to get her to like come out and oh well if Erica tells me to stop I'll stop and all this type of stuff and then insinuating that Erica had something to do with her husband being unalived or whatever. And so I saw other people too that were like making commentary that are in like those spaces, like with the bigger content creators, like on the conservative side, and they're all friends, behind the scenes, and they come out here and act like they hate each other online for clicks and views. We call it running plays on YouTube. I just didn't really know they were like running plays at that level of with having that many subscribers and that much attention. You're running plays. Wow. Making up storylines. Yes, Rizzo's right. She's getting sued and attacked from all different ways. So she also knew that she's been out here being reckless with the Charlie Kirk situation. So of course she was giddy. She got attention. She got acknowledgement. She's clearly jealous of Erica because she wants to be in that position. And she can like tiptoe on out the back door without getting sued. Another person sued. I mean, when you got the president of France and his wife suing you, I mean, whether they win or not, they're gonna drain her, right? She's gonna take a big hit monetarily.
Now, is it the issue where she claiming that the first lady of France is what trans or a man or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm not gonna lie on that one. I mean, I lean to the side of believing her because I've seen just like too much weird shit with that one. But with this whole Charlie Kirk situation, this was all honestly shameful. She just literally just grifted and made it to the top spot, number one podcaster on YouTube. I don't know if that's just YouTube or that's like social media in general, but she did make it to the top spot and has made a shit ton of money. And you know what? Maybe she needs the money because she got all these lawsuits going on. I don't know, but I feel like she has damaged her credibility. I mean, even me, I was a fan of
Well,
Candace. I'm very disappointed in her. That's why I'm on her neck.
well,
RZA,
maybe
she
if she
is
didn't
acting out of
say some of the
jealousy.
crazy stuff.
If look at my channel if you haven't. I put a short up there today, and you see when she was on Piers Morgan's show when he said something about the widow. Her whole face like dropped, and she like swallowed, and it was so weird. It really is given that she was like she used to mess around with Charlie, but he didn't pick her, and then he went and picked the blonde Barbie chick, and she has just been bitter ever since. And she saw this was the like as her opportunity to just like to burn all that shit down over there. I don't know, Jose. You missing out on a lot of tea. You ain't been keeping up with them storylines.
You know what? There's some tea I will listen, and there's some tea that's like, you know what? To each one's own. But speaking about tea, what you think about my ex-wife?
She looks like a nice looking lady. I was surprised. I remember I was like, "You're not gonna send it to me," but it's okay. I get it. I'm probably not gonna be sending people. I'm definitely not gonna be sending people shit either. But I woke up the next day or whatever, an hour or two later, whenever I saw it, Jose definitely sent that link. She looks like a nice looking older lady. How did she look when y'all was
Well, I mean,
younger?
she is okay. She is in her 40s.
Hmm.
Actually, to believe it or not, she didn't look.
She looks
I mean,
older than
she
her
looked more
40s
or
to
less
me. I
the
thought she looked
same.
like 50 something.
Um, she might, you know what? She might be. I don't know.
Hmm.
Um, actually, she's a grandmother.
Yeah,
So, I mean, look, the way I
I
look
saw
at
it
it, I
earlier.
don't look. I don't harbor any. Yeah, I don't harbor any ill will. I do wish her well. Okay, and that's how it is. My siblings, they're not so. How can I say it? Forgiving. But
Hmm.
I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, it's better not to harbor any ill will and just move on, because the last thing you want to do is to be thinking about that person, and then what that and thinking about how that person did you wrong and what have you, and then not learning how to let go. I mean, that could be a mental illness in itself.
Well, you already had gotten like the opportunity if you really wanted. I mean, she came back around kind of like trying to get back in with you, so that always helps when you move on
Yeah.
and you reject them.
I mean, look. I mean, look. This is how I look at it. She was in my life. She was a part of my life. It didn't work well. It didn't work out. We were both responsible. Okay, and it was just one of those things.
Yeah,
And I do actually wish her well.
that's good.
Yeah,
As you should, I guess.
yeah. I mean, look, life is too short to be stuck in the past and to be stuck on things that happened 3 years ago, 4 years ago, whatever, or in my case, 12 years ago.
Hmm. So what's them hours looking like? What you looking
But
at, Jose?
I mean, there's been a slight uptick, but I need to do better.
No, but I mean, how many more do you need?
But one thing, okay, at least, okay, I'm like 1,400 and change. So I need to get like
Okay,
around 3,000 or 4,000. So that's
okay.
why I'm trying to, see what I can do to decrease the watch time. Um, and of course, I have two different audience. I have an audience that loves my short videos, and I have an audience that deals with my lives.
I wanted to ask you about that since you're like the short master. I mean, that's how you got to your thousand, right? So, how does that translate at all to like really? I mean, so it's not even contributing to your watch time hours like that? Like, what's the deal with that? Because, like I said, my channel's on suppression right now, at least for like 2 weeks. That's what ChatGPT said. So I'm just like uploading a shit ton of shorts. And I want to do that anyways because I already have way over my watch time hours. I just need the last 400 subs. So that's why I'm like, I should just do a bunch of a bunch of shorts just to like try to get some subs or whatever.
Um, you know what I think it okay. In the beginning, I was getting the watch time, but not the subs. Now I'm getting the subs, but the watch. I mean, you know what it is. It depends on the. It depends on. Like if I get like a lot of watch time on the shorts, because I do have a couple of short videos. I mean, I have one that actually created like over 35,000 views.
So if they're
A
suppressing your
lot of the shorts that
videos,
I do it's averaging about 1,000.
if they're suppressing your videos, you can basically bypass that
It
around
could
and upload shorts. So that's why I'm doing that too. So I can bypass that suppression while I let the videos.
you know
And then I said I was going to do that. And then I uploaded the damn exotical video, and that shit is messy as hell. And, eating disorders is a sensitive topic on YouTube. So that didn't help me. For all I know, it started me over again. So yeah, I'm just going to do like mad freaking shorts for the next 2 weeks or whatever. That's the game
yeah.
plan.
But in all fairness, if you take a look at the shorts it's done, it's all Christian oriented.
Hmm.
And that's why, and I'm getting a lot of comments out of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
And
I feel like that's probably your
I,
lane.
I
It
mean,
always has been the
and let
positive,
me,
motivational one too.
yeah.
Like the positive,
And believe it or
motivational,
not,
like algorithm.
I'm getting close to 12. Yeah. You know what it is. I'm gonna say for me, it's for me. There's like a lot of negative energy that's out there. So I guess that I guess with all that negative energy out there, they're looking for positive short videos. A lot of it's basically
It's kind of breaking up the service, but I did hear you. And yeah, it's definitely about balance. I look at negative
yeah,
stuff on social media, but I look at positive stuff too. You got to balance it.
yeah. I might try a couple reaction lives next year. It's just that I have to be mindful what's going to be the topic. Um, would you believe there is another DoorDash person that got arrested? Actually, a couple of people. One for
I didn't hear
spraying
about it.
pepper spray on an order,
Damn.
and another one for spitting
Wow. How do they know he spit it on it or she spit it on it?
because they had like a a dark camera.
Mm. See, that sucks, man. That's why it's like you have to know also what places have their stuff completely sealed. Like there's certain stuff that they're not getting into because it's like sealed, and then some of that stuff be open, and you'd be like, "Ugh, do I want to eat this?" You don't even know if their car's dirty. They could have roaches in the car for all you know, or their dog's ass all over the seat. I don't know. It kind of grosses me out. I try not to think about it, but I don't order DoorDash too much.
Well, I mean, look, let me tell you something. It's like it's motivating me not to order anything by DoorDash. I mean, because
Yeah,
you never know,
yeah.
and
Well, certain
particularly if they
places
get
definitely
upset if
seal
you
their
don't give them
stuff.
like a decent tip.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. I don't order shit and not give a decent tip for that reason. Like if you know, if you can't afford a good tip that day, you don't need to probably be ordering nothing because like these people are out here, they're broke, they're struggling, they're trying to survive, and for whatever reason,
Yeah.
they got to come take you your shit for $2 and they mad, you know?
Well, I never thought the day would come that people say that you can essay a person when they're unconscious.
Wait, what are you talking about?
No, I'm talking about that DoorDash lady that got arrested because she videotaped a person that was drunk, and he had his genitals exposed, and he put in an order to have them leaving out at the door. So what this person did was she actually opened the door and then saw this man, drunk with his genitals exposed. So what did this DoorDash person did? Took out her phone, videotape it, put it on TikTok, and then reported it to the police, claiming that it was that she was SA.
Yeah, that's wild. I heard about that.
Now my question is, how can a person that was drunk SA someone? You have to, because you have to have, in order to do that, you have to have physical contact with the person.
Yeah, she was probably just going off the whole flashing thing and thought he was playing a game or whatever. See, the thing is I heard about the story, but I actually didn't really follow up and go look at it. So I don't know if his door was cracked open. If it says leave the order at the door and then the door is cracked open right there, then she probably could see right there. I don't know. Did she turn a handle and open the door? I mean, if that's the case, then that is really, really weird and dangerous. So, but if the door's open and your peen's out, you know.
Okay.
There's a good chance that somebody might videotape you and you might go viral.
Well, according to the image that in the dark camera, the door was closed.
Yeah, so that's the weird part that don't make sense to me. I mean, she should be charged for that. Isn't that like what's that called? Not breaking in and entering because she didn't break in, but
Breaking and entering.
well, she didn't break
I'm
in,
surprised she
right?
wasn't even charged with that. She was charged. I mean,
Trespassing? I don't know.
basically,
What?
she was charged. Actually, she was charged with filming without permission,
Hmm.
and I think she posted where this person lived. If I'm not mistaken.
I don't know. Maybe because if you open somebody's door, you don't automatically get arrested for that. Like you have to like do something or have some sort of intent. I don't know how that works. I don't know. I don't know if that's the same
Right.
thing as breaking in and
Well,
entering.
I do know that. She does have a court date next month, and the worst case scenario, she may face 8 years in prison.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Trespassing. Yeah. Invasion. Oof. Invasion
Actually, it's not.
sounds like some time.
Actually, it's not even. She's not even. Yeah. Actually, she's being charged with filming without the person's permission, and I think the other one is actually posting material on social media.
So did she like censor out his crotch or whatever when she posted it?
I don't think so.
Like, hold on. RZA, was his like schlong out on the video online?
Well, okay, like I said, according to what it was being, what his genitalia was out, but he was drunk.
Yeah, I don't know. She should be charged then. You know? That's terrible.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of a situation when I did a when I did- when we did a home visit for a female client in the summertime. She opens the door and she had on bra and panties, and then she closed the door, and then my coworker didn't see what he saw. All he saw was my face turn red, and he asked me, "Well, what happened?" And I said, "Well, I knocked on the door, and there was a lady that had on bra and panties." So then she opens the door. She puts on a trench coat. We interview her, and then we just went away. But my partner decided to get cute, and he said, "You know what, lady? The only mistake that you made was you showed yourself to the wrong investigator." I'm looking at him like, "Why you say that? Why oh boy." And I could have gotten in trouble because of that remark.
Mm.
And then another female climber that we interview, um, she decided to hyperventilate, and I had to calm her down. And just as we getting ready to leave, she makes this statement: "I needed to get laid," to two men.
Damn, Jose, what's going on? Jose, you must really be an OG pimp or something because all these women just throwing you the cooch left and right.
So you know what I actually said to her, and I don't know how the heck I said it with a straight face. And I say to her, "I'm sorry, miss, but we cannot assist you in that area."
What did she say?
I don't remember, and I don't
That's so funny.
care.
Wow. She must have wanted y'all to run the train on her. Why would she tell both of y'all that?
I mean, you know what? You laugh sometimes because have you, but if you don't mind me asking, how's Dreamy doing?
She's doing good. We were just talking the other night when we did the live stream.
Okay.
So the person they ate the food and they got
Please
sick.
give
It
her
was
my
you said they
regards.
pepper sprayed.
I'm sorry.
You said they pepper. I will, Jose. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah,
Um.
actually, the wife got sick. Now, allegedly, this is what she said, that she saw a spider, so that's why she sprayed it spider. Um, in the mid, you're talking about a spider in the middle of winter or whatever it was. Likely.
Well, like, what was the problem? They didn't give her no tip. Like, I mean, or she was just like crazy. Well, she's crazy regardless. But I mean, what was the reason she did
No,
that?
it's just that it's just you know what it was. it was the amount of the tip. I mean, it came to about $27, and they actually gave her a $2 tip.
How many times is it gonna take for people to realize if you cannot afford the tip, do not order. Your food is not safe if you don't tip.
At least tip 15% or 18% of or something. I mean, because look,
Two
I mean,
dollars
I
is
don't know how much
diabolical.
money they make, but they don't make a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. They work off tips. That's it.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm saying it's even more
yeah,
like volatile than like if you just like were at a restaurant and you didn't really tip because they're like getting paid like an hourly. The Door Dashers, they're just literally depending on the tips, as far as I know.
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna be ordering anything from DoorDash anytime in the near future because I don't want someone spitting on my food, urinating on my food, spraying on my food, or doing goodness gracious, who knows what.
Yeah, people have done worse things. It's fucking gross. This is nothing new. People have messed with people's food since restaurants began. They do it in the kitchen back there when you go out. Like, if there's a sicko back there.
Yeah. I mean, look, what's the big deal? If you're going out to a restaurant to eat, you're gonna be paying what, maybe 30, $40, whatever it is. I mean, you're gonna spend that much money. I mean, leave a decent tip. Okay, at least 15%.
Yeah, that really cuts out a lot of that. And then the other percentage that's left over is just like the
Of course,
psychos that get off on doing
yeah,
sick shit.
yeah. Of course, the ultimate solution is actually pay these people an actual salary that they wouldn't have to depend on tips.
Exactly. This is cute with your little like decorated Christmas stuff.
Well, I wanted to get festive for the holidays.
Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, so it's something that StreamYard provided.
Mm-hmm.
So
The way she sprayed the bag, it was sealed. It looked like, wait, can't see, but it should have had a scent. I mean, if the bag was sealed, then maybe she was shooting at a bug or something. What would be the point of spraying it like sealed? I don't know.
but you
But
know
still,
what?
you got to be responsible with
Nowadays,
your food.
yeah,
She sprayed
yeah.
it on the food while it was outside or in her car.
No, outside.
Oh no, no, she did that on purpose then. Yeah. Why would she care if it was a spider on their food outside?
Yeah. I mean, look, I mean, it's not like she's gonna eat. It's not like she's gonna eat the food.
Yeah. People
But
crazy.
that's why, you know what? I am not. I am not going to order anything to DoorDash. There's too many places nearby within walking distance of my home when I can. If I don't feel like cooking, I can just go anywhere and just go to the restaurant and just order my food, and that's it.
So when you walk downstairs, you have options just everywhere close.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Like
good
for
part about
example,
the
just
world.
like for example, if I'm too lazy, whatever, there's like a Chinese restaurant across the tree from me. There's also like a little like a little diner, well, kind of like a diner. Plus, there's like a couple of restaurants. Believe me, up along my way, there are plenty of places to go eat if you don't feel like cooking, and all within walking distance.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go, Jose. I'm
So
tired tonight, and I just want to come up and hang out for a little while. Thank you for having me
yeah, I'm
up.
not. Thank you for stopping by. If I don't see you before, I hope you have a wonderful, blissful Christmas, and I to dreaming
Yes, I
my
will. Thank you so much. You
cyber
have a happy
granddaughter.
Christmas too. I will. You have a happy Christmas.
Thank you.
Bye, Riza. Bye, Irby. Cloud Watchers, hit the like and shout out to the playback gang. Bye, everybody.
Bye. So, thank you very much. Now, we're gonna wrap this up. I think it was a pretty good stream. I mean, look, the fact of the matter is, when it comes to dealing with people who deliver food, there are people that do a great job, and then there are people that don't do such a great job. That's how it is. But playback gang, do your own thing, and we must do everything possible to avoid the presence of the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we'll be infected by the stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron saying good night, take care, stay blessed, and peace.